So hello everyone to a very, very exciting video here. I'm sure you'll all be very excited about this. We have on the call 3 people. I'll introduce all of us, but one of us needs no introduction. But yeah, so I'm Kireth. I'm a GT Sport YouTuber. I've been doing this for a couple of years, making videos, live streaming. But you possibly know that because you're on my channel. We've got here Nagaracing, you can see with a very, very cool background. And Nagaracing and we started, I think, sim racing YouTube around the same time. Exactly. And we kind of growing together, and it's very, very cool. So Nagaracing is doing a lot of race room, iRacing, and especially a set of course of competizione in French, because Nagaracing is from Belgium. So if you're a French-speaking viewer, then definitely go check out Nagaracing channel. There's a link in the description. Subscribe over there, and you get some very, very cool content. And also RC cars as well, I think. So you do a bit of RC stuff on your motorbike. I've seen on your motorbike.
Exactly.
You're at the Sim Racing Expo. You're everywhere.
Not expert, but like a beginner who wants to share something. But I can speak English. But my channel is mainly in French.
Yeah, and also we have the main man himself, really, yes. Mr. Momoz91. I'll just say a bit of words. If you're watching this video, you don't know why it's a big deal. You don't know who Momoz is. So Momoz is probably only second to Super GT, the most famous player on Gran Turismo Sport. And if you search Momoz on YouTube, you will see a load of videos, some of them with millions of views, about Momoz. And Momoz had a kind of reputation in the game about being quite an aggressive driver. But I think it's a bit mythical. People aren't really sure whether that's true. Momoz has never spoken. We've never been able to see Momoz's point of view. You may have seen on my channel, I made a video a couple of months ago where I said Momoz is not an aggressive driver, actually, initially. A lot of this stuff is happening from other people. And you may have seen recently that Momoz has started streaming. So Momoz has a channel. I put a link in the description. Definitely go check it out, because Momoz is a very, very, very fast GT Sport driver, and I'm sure you're going to see a lot more on the Momoz channel. But yeah, the most famous GT Sport player ever, apart from Super GT, I would say. And Momoz has never spoken before, so this is the first time we're going to hear from Momoz about all of the stuff. So we'll get straight into it. And the way this is going to work, because Momoz does understand a little bit of English, but not so confident at speaking English, in the same way I'm not so confident speaking French. So we've got Nagaracing, who very gratefully has made some time available here to act as a go-between. And I'll also try and subtitle what's being said, so you'll see it through subs as well. So I'm going to start off with an easy question, which is to Momoz. How did you get started on Gran Turismo Sport?
Je crois que t'as compris un moment.
Ouais, en fait, ce que j'ai commencé, j'étais sport à peu près à la sortie du jeu. Peut-être pas directement, mais à peu près à la sortie. Moi, j'ai toujours été passionné des séries de Gran Turismo. J'ai pas eu tous les Gran Turismo, mais j'ai adoré le Gran Turismo sur ma première PlayStation, le 2. J'avais commencé qu'avec le 2 et franchement, j'ai toujours été passionné de course auto, et je trouvais le jeu le plus complet, le plus à part certains points qui sont un peu sur GT Sport un peu chiants, mais sinon franchement je l'ai eu dès sa sortie.
Okay. So yeah, he said that he started on Gran Turismo 2 at the beginning of the license. He didn't get all the Gran Turismo, but he said that Gran Turismo is one of the best racing games for him, even if it's on PlayStation. He said that he gives him a lot of track, a lot of cars, a lot of sensation. Even it's not perfect, even it's not a real simulation, but he said it's one of his lifetime favorite racing games. Even he say he's passionate about it. So he's there since a long time. So Gran Turismo 2, I was not there at that time, so I think it's a really long time he's here.
Yeah, that's longer than me as well. So Momoz is a true Gran Turismo OG in this call. But Gran Turismo Sport, compared to Gran Turismo 2, Gran Turismo Sport is mainly about the online experience and racing other drivers, and that's where we've seen Momoz become a real celebrity in the kind of interaction with other drivers. So I'd really like to ask Momoz, who are some of the favourite drivers you've liked racing against in Gran Turismo Sport?
Donc Momo il a dit depuis qu'il y a Gran Turismo Sport qui est sorti, il y a vraiment l'ère du multijoueur qui est arrivé, et il demandait vu que maintenant t'es en multijoueur à fond et que ça fait longtemps que t'es là, que t'es super connu dans la toile grâce à ça, grâce à l'effet multijoueur, contre qui tu as vraiment aimé concourir comme pilote, si tu dois en citer un ou deux dans ta carrière multijoueur sur Gran Turismo Sport.
Bah, j'apprécie beaucoup de pilotes. Il y a beaucoup de pilotes, surtout en ce moment, des pilotes qui sont très rapides, qui sont en plus souvent présents, comme Zavizi, comme Fraga, comme des pilotes comme Lopez, comme Serrano en ce moment. Ces pilotes-là, ils sont presque tout le temps là et ils roulent à une vitesse. C'est franchement des pilotes exceptionnels, mais malheureusement rouler contre eux c'est compliqué, c'est très compliqué et sinon à part ça j'ai rien d'autre à dire quoi.
Okay. Like, yeah, so he said Lopez, he said Fraga, he said all that kind of pilot, but he said like what impressed him is that they're here since a long time. And like it's crazy to see them since all that time still there on the game and still so fast. So that's what.
Ouais, vraiment, ouais. Ils s'entraînent énormément. Je pense que après au niveau à laquelle ils roulent, je pense qu'ils ont un entraînement vraiment intensif. Et du coup, ça déséquilibre un peu le niveau dans le GT Sport. C'est dommage. Je trouve ça un peu dommage, mais d'un côté aussi, comme Kireth a dit, le jeu en ligne se banalise énormément du coup, et je pense que les gens vont devenir de plus en plus forts avec du meilleur matériel et donc avec le temps ça va se banaliser encore plus, je pense.
He said that it's very amazing to see those very fast pilots, but the problem is that he said it creates a gap between pro esport driver and just normal people playing Gran Turismo. He said that it's very unbalanced level because they are training so hard to be so good, and that's the only thing he pointed out. He said that normal people, the gap is too big between esport driver and normal people, and people is gonna get higher and higher in terms of level because the game exists since a long time and people continue to playing to higher the level.
That's very interesting because a lot of people would say Momoz is very fast on GT Sport, like last week at Le Mans in Daily Race C, very fast. And it's interesting that talking about Coco Lopez, talking about Iga Fraga, these are World Tour drivers. Iga Fraga has won the whole thing. So I guess an interesting question is to Momoz, do you think you could become a World Tour driver if you had the time? Because you're racing with these very fast drivers, you're very close. Do you think you could get on the World Tour in that top 16?
Est-ce que tu peux arriver dans le top 16, même si t'es fan de ces Fraga, de tous ces pilotes? Est-ce que tu penses que si tu te donnes le temps de t'entraîner, tu peux arriver dans le World Tour et c'est top 16?
Bah, honnêtement, je pense que ça dépend. Après, ça dépend. Si on s'entraîne presque, on va dire si tu t'entraînes presque 5-6 heures par jour, au moins, ou 4-5 heures tous les jours, et que déjà tu as des bases de 2-3 ans sur GT Sport, et que après faut voir aussi sur GT7 comment ça se passe, le online, si ça change beaucoup ou pas. Après, il y a plein de choses, il y a plein de critères qu'il faut prendre en compte. Et je pense que tout le monde, franchement, avec le temps et l'entraînement, il n'y a rien qui vient tout seul. C'est plus on apprend des données, plus on apprend les circuits, plus on apprend les voitures, les différentes voitures et tout ça. Je pense que tout le monde peut y arriver. Moi, j'ai essayé de mon côté. Après, le problème, c'était que moi aussi, je travaille aussi, et on a tous un travail, je pense, à côté. Bon, il y en a qui sont vraiment à fond dans la compétition. Donc, si vous êtes à fond dans la compétition, je pense que tout le monde peut y arriver. Mais
he said that I think everybody can do it. He said that if you have 2 to 3 years in the background of experience, maybe you can do it. If you put 4 to 5 hours racing a day, you can do it. So he said, I can do it, but you can do it. Everybody can do it. But the thing is that the problem is that we live and we have a job, and he has a job. He can't just do all his life Gran Turismo. So he said there is pro drivers, maybe they have facilities, yes, but not for him. He needs to work, so he do whatever he can. He tried to do it, but he can't put more
job,
than 4 to 5
famille.
hours. He has family, a job, everything, so he can't do everything to be...
C'est vrai que c'est une passion, pardon.
Vas-y.
Pardon, oui, je disais, c'est une passion, et après, on aimerait tous pouvoir devenir le meilleur, le plus fort, certes, et puis avec l'âge, et on réfléchit aussi autrement, on pense aussi à d'autres choses. Du coup, c'est vrai que si, quand je vois par exemple comme un YouTuber que vous connaissez sûrement, Kai25, qui est ultra Ki25, qui est super connu, je pense aussi qu'il y a pas mal de soutien, et du coup je pense que j'ai des gens qui m'ont dit que c'était son travail presque youtubeur, et du coup, il a un excellent niveau, faut pas le dire, et surtout ces dernières années il est beaucoup plus rapide et beaucoup plus régulier.
He said that if you can he said that it's like a passion for him, and yes, maybe one day it's gonna be a job. But I think if you want to be a racing driver as a job, you need to do like the Ki25 is full-time YouTuber, and yes, but I don't think he's earning a lot of money, but it's a good start to earn with this, and it's a good passion to live his passion with a minimum earning revenue. Yes, but he said that I don't see other possibilities to live with it, because if you want to perform at the highest level, you don't have the choice. You need to income just to be full-time racing driver. And he said, so to achieve that level, there is no secret. You need to be full-time.
Moi, j'aimerais passer tout mon temps, toute ma vie sur GT Sport, mais malheureusement, en tant qu'aussi être humain, on a des responsabilités. Comme même nos parents nous ont inculqué et toutes ces choses-là. Il faut aussi avancer sur d'autres choses, malheureusement. Mais c'est sûr que ça, c'est tentant de passer.
He said that he wish he can do all his time GT Sport driver, but he can't because his education from his family. He said that in life there is not only racing games, there is other stuff you need to move on. It's not only move on the game, but move on your personal life, move on your family, move on everything. So he can do everything. So it's like so it's a balance, huh? Is that he said?
Je pense, I think.
There's a lot of interesting things there, and I think a lot of our viewers will recognise that. I think the most of the viewers on my channel, maybe the same on yours, Naga, are obviously not full time. They're working and they enjoy playing racing games in their spare time, watching racing in their spare time. A lot of people think, well, what could happen if I had all day to do this? And you don't really know. But as Momoz is saying, you kind of, if you want to be pro, you need to. That's the definition of being professional. But touching on a couple of things, it's interesting. Momoz talking about the Ki25, and he is essentially a professional sim racer because he is sim racing. That is his job. Although it's not necessary to win competitions, he's streaming it. It's interesting to see Momoz now starting your own YouTube channel. So if we move into more of the YouTube world, who are some? You've mentioned Ki25. Obviously, you feature in a lot of videos. You feature in a lot of live streams. So Momoz, who are some of your favourite GT Sport YouTubers? Do you watch any GT Sport YouTubers, or do you not watch them? Are you trying to be a YouTuber now yourself? If so, there's a link in the description, so make sure you're watching, you check out Momoz's channel. But do you watch other GT Sport YouTubers, and are you trying to become one?
Il a dit, c'est intéressant ce que tu dis par rapport au job du sim racer, mais ce qui est important, c'est que quand tu parles de Ki, par exemple, son objectif, c'est pas de gagner des World Tour ou quoi, parce que lui, c'est vrai que c'est son job en tant que sim racer, mais son job principalement, c'est créateur de contenu, parce que lui qui gagne ou qui gagne pas, au final, il s'en fout parce qu'il doit créer du contenu, tu vois. Mais s'il gagne, bien sûr, il aura des meilleures retombées comme Super GT ou autre. Et donc la question, c'est comme il y a ça qui se passe. Il a dit, je vois que tu as aussi créé ta chaîne YouTube, Momoz. Et qu'est-ce que tu penses de tout ça et qui te regarde sur YouTube, principalement sur GT Sport?
Moi, j'ai créé en fait, c'est en regardant tout le monde, en regardant autour de moi. Moi, au début, jamais j'aurais pensé créer une chaîne YouTube, parce que à la base, je suis juste passionné de course auto. Et j'ai déjà un travail, je travaille à mon compte et tout. Donc du coup, gagner ma vie avec YouTube, j'en ai pas vraiment l'intérêt. Mais quand j'ai vu l'apport que ça peut apporter, le soutien de personnes, et puis quand vous pouvez enregistrer vos courses, de pouvoir regarder ses courses, de pouvoir que les gens qui vous soutiennent puissent regarder vos courses. Et puis franchement, en regardant tout le temps à l'extérieur, par exemple les autres chaînes, j'ai appris de ces chaînes et j'ai commencé à comprendre que ça pourrait peut-être aussi me servir. Et du coup, c'est pour ça que j'ai créé ma chaîne. Okay. Et voilà, c'est surtout pour ça. Pardon ?
Tu regardes qui comme youtubeur ?
Là, en ce moment, je regarde, ça m'arrive de regarder Digit Gaming, je crois. Il y a Zoker, dans GT Sport. Surtout, après, je regarde aussi Ki25, je regarde Kireth. Après, ça me revient pas comme ça. Zavizik aussi, j'ai regardé un peu. Okay. Un peu tout ce qui tourne en ce moment. Aussi, il y a des Britanniques, ça m'est déjà arrivé de regarder les vidéos de Super GT, il y a Murdoch, je crois, il s'appelle Will Murdoch. Aussi, il y a Oli, Basic Oli, je crois aussi.
Ouais, exactement. Voilà,
ils sont tous ça, je pense. J'ai déjà regardé aussi, 2-3 fois aussi. Moi, mais je pense que toi, tu fais d'autres jeux, d'autres trucs aussi.
Exactement, je fais ACC. Ouais, c'est ça. Je faisais GT Sport au début. For presentation, I was a GT Sport driver at the beginning of my. Donc, j'étais un joueur de GT Sport, j'étais top 10 FIA, mais en Belgique. Ouais, donc j'étais bien, tu vois. Ouais, c'était bien, mais en Belgique, on est moins, en France, 10 fois moins. So, I was a GT Sport driver. I was a sport driver at the beginning, and I was top 10 FIA. But it's like the number of participants in Belgium is easier than in France or British, so it's not easier for me. But I was top 10. I was 10 on my country, so it's a good thing. But after I move on the PC and I stopped PlayStation, so that's the problem. That's why I stopped GT Sport and I started as the Corsa Competizione principally, and that's why. So he said the name of the YouTuber, you heard them, I think, and he said that for YouTube, he said that yes, it's a business. I saw actually he said I'm working on my own, so he's owner, and he said that it's not really like I made YouTube to be a full-time YouTuber because it doesn't make me any money of it. But the thing is that he saw a lot of YouTube video that make him better. So he learned new things. He learned how to shift, how to move, and everything, the trajectory. And he said, why not making my video helping others also? So that's the first goal of his YouTube channel. Not really to make money, but he said at the end, if YouTube can help him some ways, why not? So that's the goal, but not like the end goal to make it financially independent.
Mm-hmm.
That's very, very, very cool. So we can expect to see some tutorials, some guides from Momoz, how to drive like Momoz. That's very exciting.
Merci, Kireth.
It was very cool to hear Key 25 called Key Van Sank. That's very, very, very cool. But yeah, touching on some of the names you mentioned, a lot of those people have, and I think this will be really interesting for a lot of people watching, a lot of those people have made videos about you over the years. We're talking 3-4 years. And no doubt you mentioned Super GT and people like that, Key 25, Key Van Sang. No, you'll have seen that some of these videos are, say, Momoz is a aggressive driver. They say Momoz is a kind of crazy driver. So do you have anything to say about these videos? Is it the case that you were an aggressive driver and you've changed, or were these videos unfair? They were just there to get views, and this thing became about Momoz. If you make a video about Momoz, it will get lots of views. What's your view on these videos that were made about you in the past?
Et il a dit, il y a beaucoup de créateurs qui ont créé des vidéos sur toi. Et principalement parce que t'avais un comportement agressif. Et qu'est-ce que tu en penses de ça? Parce qu'il y a pas mal de youtubeurs qui se disent, si je crée une vidéo sur Momoz, je pourrais avoir des vues, je pourrais monter dans le ranking, etc. Qu'est-ce que tu penses de ça? Est-ce qu'ils utilisent ton image, ou est-ce que tu te dis ça te fait quand même un peu chier, ou pas du tout?
C'est vrai que au début ça m'embêtait un peu. C'est comme tout le monde. Après ça vous embête, c'est sûr. Ça m'a embêté un petit peu au début parce que c'était surtout pour l'image. Après, une fois qu'on a une mauvaise image, après pour s'en sortir c'est foutu. Mais Après, pour les vues et tout ça, j'imagine qu'il y en a beaucoup aussi qui doivent, pour essayer de se faire monter, de gagner des abonnés, de faire des vues, forcément, ils doivent utiliser peut-être cette méthode. Mais après, moi, je m'en fiche maintenant. Ce que je me dis, c'est que c'est pour ça que j'ai créé ma chaîne. Et comme après, moi, mon but, c'est de changer, de montrer, justement, de prouver aux gens que si je joue à GT Sport, c'est pas pour, et que si je fais une course, c'est pas pour m'embêter avec d'autres pilotes, c'est vraiment pour essayer de faire une course sympathique et de profiter aussi, et aussi d'être performant, certes, comme tout le monde, mais bon, après, voilà, maintenant je me casse plus trop la tête avec ça, c'est que je me dis, voilà, c'est ce qui est fait, on fait des erreurs. Après, c'est comme ça.
He said that at the beginning, when people made video about him, he said that it made him a little bit sad about this, because he said, I wanted to give my best about the games. I wanted to have fun and be competitive, but things that I made some mistakes for sure. But it's only one who created a video about it, and just the wave goes on. And he said at the beginning, I was not happy about that, because it's a bad words about you at the end. So he said also it's one of the reasons I created my channel, to show people that I'm not only an aggressive driver. I did not only mistakes at the past, but now I try to be a very good driver, and I want to be entertained. I want to be make fun on my races, not only to be aggressive, but for sure sometimes you need to be aggressive. But the thing that I think the people build a bad reputation about him, but he's not like that.
Pardon,
ouais.
Naga, je pourrais ajouter quelque chose. Ouais. C'était juste aussi, puis d'un côté, j'en veux pas, parce que c'est aussi d'un côté ce qui vous, quand on a sur le recul, quand on regarde d'autres vidéos, on comprend comme ça plus rapidement nos erreurs. Et c'est comme ça qu'on évolue. Au final, c'est comme ça que j'ai compris qu'il fallait mieux favoriser toujours le faire. Maintenant, je sais pas si vous avez remarqué par exemple sur les vidéos que j'ai faites sur YouTube, j'essaie de favoriser le fair play, avec un grand F, que la performance. Quitte à freiner, piler, bah tant pis, il faudra piler. Et puis tant pis, même s'il faut perdre des points, bah, c'est pas grave. Surtout jusqu'à que les gens comprennent que voilà, c'est plus le même Momoz, et que certes, pardon, voilà. Donc c'était juste ça.
He said that he changed, and yes, for sure, at the time he made some very bad moves, and people take that bad moves to make the buzz. And he said, but I'm not pointing on them to say you did a bad thing, but he said, no, I try to change, and I try to really to not dive bomb, to make sure that I race fair play with a big F. And he said that now it's my motto, and say that all the content I create on YouTube is just to make fair play and very pleasant races, and not any more aggressive.
Yeah, it's a pretty incredible story to go from someone who had all these videos made about them, and we never heard the side from Momoz, to now we can see Momoz streaming, and the message is clean racing, fair racing. It's a pretty incredible story. We're very, very lucky. Is there anything, Momoz? So, you know, there's millions of people that have seen the videos about you, but they've never heard from you. Is there anything that you would like to say to those people that they've only seen, they've never heard your side? They've only heard from the people making the videos for views and making them controversial. But is there anything you want to say to the people that saw these videos about you, because they haven't heard from you before?
Il a dit, c'est marrant parce que quand on sort des vidéos de ce type-là, on a toujours une première version de l'histoire qui est en fait la version des youtubeurs pour pouvoir faire le buzz. Mais on n'a pas ta version de l'histoire. Et par exemple, quand il y a des crashs et tout, tu vois, est-ce que tu as été frustré par rapport à ça de pas donner ta version d'histoire sur ces vidéos qui ont été faites sur toi, par exemple?
Bah, sur le coup, oui, j'étais un peu frustré, c'est sûr. Quand vous perdez, en plus, même pas forcément quand on perd, mais même quand on voit des choses, par exemple quand on voit des vidéos et qu'il y a des montages et qu'on voit pas forcément toujours tout ce qu'on veut, ou alors les gens, quand on est youtubeur, on met pas les vidéos, on met les vidéos qui nous intéressent et souvent on met pas toutes les courses. Des fois, enfin, moi j'ai du mal encore avec YouTube. En plus, je suis pas un grand professionnel des montages et tout ça. Ça fait un moment que j'ai pas trop traîné sur mon ordinateur et du coup, c'est vrai que je pense que eux n'ont pas de difficulté à pouvoir montrer ce qu'ils veulent. Après,
he said that the part of their story is that they don't show all the race; they only show their crashes. And he said sometimes you only have part of the story, not the whole story. And that's the problem, because he said maybe 2 times someone touched him, and for example 1 time he only make 1 touch. So it's like they don't have the whole story. And he said that he's not a very professional movie maker, so he can't make like movies like this. So he make all the races and that's it. But YouTubers has like facility to make some movie and just to focus on one crash. And he said sometimes you only see that, but you don't see the whole race. And unfortunately, most of the time, it's not the real story. It's only one specific story and inside a big one. So he said, but that's the part, and you have to accept it. He said that he's not really a social media guy, so at the end he doesn't care because it's not every day on YouTube. So
yeah, it's a very philosophical. I can't say the word. You know what I mean? Philosophical question that applies maybe to a lot of the way even regular media operates these days in terms of clickbait and sensational moments to get views. And you know, everyone is all the YouTubers are competing for the most sensational headlines, thumbnails, moments, and in that it's easy to lose the truth and the balance maybe. But the good news is that we'll have that balance now because we have Momoz just streaming, and you can go and see Momoz streaming Daily Race C, Daily Race B. Yeah, that's very, very interesting. If you've got any more questions to Momoz on that kind of stuff, do drop them in the comments. I'm sure it'll be really interesting. I'm sure you've got questions. I'll be interesting what the answers are. But let's move on from GT Sport. So obviously, as the time we're recording this video, GT7 has been announced. Gran Turismo 7 is looking very exciting. Although a little bit controversial because Gran Turismo 7 looks to be a old style Gran Turismo game with collecting cars, single player championships. Now, Momoz, you said you started on Gran Turismo 2, which obviously was a single player game. Are you looking forward to Gran Turismo 7? Are you happy that it's kind of looking more single player? Would you want it to be more multiplayer? What are your thoughts about Gran Turismo 7?
Ouais. Donc il a dit c'était intéressant de voir ta version des faits sur YouTube, et il a dit que maintenant ce sera fini et les gens qui vont voir juste une histoire spécifique, mais au moins pour revenir sur ta chaîne et voir un peu tes streams, etc. Et il dit il y a un nouveau Gran Turismo Sport 7 qui sort, et est-ce que t'es content que Gran Turismo Sport, enfin un nouveau jeu Gran Turismo Sport est devenu single, donc en juste plutôt joueur solo et moins multijoueur, ou alors tu te dis oh j'aurais aimé un peu plus de multijoueur. Quelles sont tes attentes par rapport à ça?
Bah écoute, je pense que le jeu sera. Moi j'aurais mes attentes un peu sur le multijoueur aussi, sur les deux en fait. Je pensais que moi de ce que j'ai entendu, de ce que je me suis renseigné, je pense que le jeu sera un peu complet sur le niveau d'après Polyphony. Il sera complet sur les deux, justement sur le mode solo, où il n'y avait pas dans GT Sport, justement, il y avait rien quoi en mode solo. Il n'y avait pas d'histoire, même comme dans les anciens GT Sport, les anciens Gran Turismo, où on pouvait acheter les voitures, avancer, passer les permis, acheter les voitures d'occasion, vraiment. Collectionner, mais apparemment là avoir des voitures ou vraiment avoir difficile pouvoir les collectionner ce sera plus difficile peut-être pour pouvoir les acheter. Il faudra avancer petit à petit dans le mode histoire, et si en plus de ça on peut avoir aussi le mode GT Sport avec en mode amélioré, bien avancé, avec un meilleur système de pénalité, franchement ce serait top. J'espère qu'ils vont pas trop négliger le mode online comme Kireth le dit. Je sais pas, peut-être que Kireth est bien renseigné, un peu plus renseigné, parce que au final on n'a pas trop dans renseignement du coup.
Effectivement. So he said that he wished that it's an evolution of Gran Turismo Sport. It's like he wants Gran Turismo Sport to be also a multiplayer game, 50-50. He said that from his sources, it's going to be like that. It's going to be half-half. Maybe you have other sources. But he said that, yes, he's happy about the single player, but he said, I really want to have multiplayer because he said now everything is multi, and he's looking forward to be a multiplayer also esport driver on GT7.
Very nice. Looking forward to racing with you then in Gran Turismo 7. I don't think it will be all single player, but I think that there will be more of an element than there was in Gran Turismo Sport. But it's cool to know that you're very much into the multiplayer. And I've seen on your streams you have a Fanatec Podium, which is a very, very nice high-end piece of equipment. I don't know if you're sponsored by Thrustmaster Naga, in which case we won't speak about it. Thrustmaster is also great. But will we see you perhaps Momoz on simulations like Assetto Corsa Competizione or iRacing? Because it seems like you have the equipment for it, you have the speed for it. Are you tempted to play these simulations on PC?
Elle a dit t'as tout le matériel qu'il faut, t'as un matériel haut de gamme, Fanatec plus que moi vu que je suis un capteur 300 RS. Et elle a dit est-ce que t'as jamais été tenté de passer vers des simulations PC, par exemple iRacing ou alors Assetto Corsa Competizione, et même sur PlayStation, hein, mais plus sur PC quoi. T'as jamais été tenté?
En fait, j'ai plusieurs fois été tenté, plusieurs fois regardé sur internet iRacing les gens qui jouaient. En plus, ça a l'air d'être super réaliste, encore plus full simulation et ça a l'air d'être vraiment sympa. Sauf que ces derniers temps, j'ai un peu comme j'ai un travail manuel et physique dans mon travail, que j'ai un peu négligé tout ce qui était informatique, à part la console où j'ai toujours eu des consoles depuis que j'étais petit. Du coup, j'avais un bon ordinateur petit, mais avec le temps, il faut toujours améliorer et tout ça. Du coup, j'ai laissé. Mais moi, prochainement, j'aimerais vraiment avoir aussi un projet, par exemple, d'avoir un nouvel ordinateur et justement de tester. Comme j'ai investi justement aussi il y a peu de temps dans un bon matériel de simu, que ce soit pour console ou pour PC. Justement, j'ai fait exprès. Et du coup, c'est vrai que c'est tentant. iRacing, c'est vraiment tentant. Et peut-être, qui sait que dans les prochaines mois ou les prochaines années, peut-être que je testerai et j'essaierai. Il y a peut-être que ce sera même un projet intéressant pour ma chaîne, pour pouvoir avoir du contenu sympathique, pour changer un peu de GT. Peut-être que GT7 sera moins bien qu'on pense, ou peut-être qu'il sera bien. Donc, faut voir ce que nous réserve l'avenir aussi.
He said that he wanted to try iRacing, Assetto Corsa Competizione, and to move on the PC. But the problem is that he's doing his manual job, and he didn't invest his time, his knowledge about IT things. So he said, for me, console, I have a console since the beginning, since the young age. So console is very easy. You plug in wheel and you play. But the thing with PC, you need to install everything and all the different stuff, drivers and whatever. He said, so that's why he didn't move on, but he's looking forward to, and he looked at, he watched YouTube video about you or other YouTubers that's doing on iRacing. He said it's more realistic than GT Sport. He said he really wants to make it. But for now, he has a PC, but now he's an old PC, so he needs to buy a new one. But I think with his YouTube channel, maybe it's a good content. So he will move on maybe in a few months on PC to try mostly, I think, iRacing.
Well, definitely, if you have any questions, Momoz, you can ask both of us, because we hopefully we know what to do. And it would be very cool for us to do an endurance race together, do a 3-hour race, we'll do 1 hour each. That would be very, very cool. I've seen you in my iRacing streams. It's glad to see you're enjoying it.
Il a dit si tu passes sur PC, tu seras invité avec lui de faire une endurance sur iRacing. D'ailleurs, il m'a invité aussi, comme ça, il est chaud. Mais
les trois, merci en tout cas. Tous les deux, merci à vous en tout cas.
Donc, il t'invitera en endurance.
Avec toi.
He said he's going to be honored to race with you, Kireth, next time he has a PC.
Hier, j'ai regardé, il roulait sur iRacing, il me semble, sur une partie je connaissais pas trop ce circuit, mais c'est une partie du Mans, je crois. Enfin, c'était sur une partie du Mans. Je connaissais pas trop ce ce circuit, enfin cette partie du circuit.
He said he watched you yesterday. It was very
Il a roulé
pleasant.
longtemps en plus. Ouais.
You ride a lot, and he said like you make him make the move. So
Very nice.
He's gonna come on iRacing maybe.
Nice. So good. Yeah, good to see that it's not having the opposite effect. But it's always when Momoz is joining the chat, it's very very exciting because you are this big celebrity, which is very cool. I don't know how much time both of you have because I know we've been going for I think 45 minutes. I don't know if people have stuff to do at 5 p.m. or not.
Yeah, maybe 20 minutes is okay.
Okay, 20. So we'll ask a few more questions then, and maybe people can ask questions in the chat and in the comments below. We can relay them on. But to ask a few more questions then. So, you are Momoz. You are right up there in terms of you. In the same way that you said to me just now, you watched me and that made you want to do iRacing. I'm sure there's lots of people that have seen the videos with you in, and that has got them into Gran Turismo Sport because of the exciting wheel to wheel and passion. So I'm sure you have made Sony and Gran Turismo a lot of money. If they asked you to go to a World Tour event as a guest and do a guest race like they do each time, would you go? Would you go to a World Tour event if Sony asked you to?
Elle a dit tu faisais des vidéos sur Gran Turismo Sport et que tu étais le sujet des vidéos des youtubeurs et je suis sûr que juste via ton impact, via l'intensité de tes courses, tu as donné envie à d'autres joueurs comme Kireth te donne envie de jouer à iRacing, tu as aussi donné envie de jouer aux autres joueurs sur Gran Turismo Sport et comme tu es une personnalité importante dans son stream, même quand tu passes dans son stream, les gens ils se disent il y a Momoz qui est là et donc en fait ils te connaissent, tu vois. Et il voulait dire, est-ce que si un jour le World Tour t'invite pour une course d'invités, est-ce que tu voudrais y aller?
Pourquoi pas, moi ça me dérangerait pas. Au contraire, ce serait un honneur, mais pour pouvoir y aller, il faut vraiment avoir un excellent niveau déjà.
Il parlait de la course d'invités, tu vois, parce qu'il y a des courses.
Les courses, de temps en temps d'invités, pourquoi pas. Ouais, il n'y a pas de souci.
Il serait chaud.
Moi, je serais prêt. Bon, après, je sais que j'ai suivi un petit peu les émissions, enfin, les dernières émissions qui passaient sur GT, sur YouTube. Et bon, après, il y a Super GT, tout ça. Bon, après, moi, je sais pas si le public m'appréciera forcément, hein. Mais bon, après, si je reçois une invitation, pourquoi pas. Peut-être que je pourrais y aller.
Donc, he said yes, he is going to be honored to go there as a guest, but he wants really to be a competitor there. But we talk about it. It's very complicated. But he said yes, for sure. I will go 100% if they invite me.
Yeah, I think it could definitely happen. It could definitely happen. I know Super GT has been there as a guest. There's been other people who've gone there as guests and done, I think, the Pro-Am Championship. So, yeah. That would be very, 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 very cool. That would be a very kind of nice thing to happen as Gran Turismo Sport ends and we go into Gran Turismo 7. That would be cool. But so I as you may know, I do karting is kind of my thing outside of sim racing. That is also connected to racing. Naga, I know you do remote control cars. I think you did it before you were sim racing. You have lots of trophies and whatnot that I've seen. Do you have any hobbies, Momoz, outside of sim racing? What are the other things that you like to do?
Il a dit au-delà de GT Sport, on sait que tu travailles, tu as la famille et tout. Est-ce que lui, par exemple, il fait du karting, Kireth? Moi, je fais autre chose aussi. Est-ce que toi, tu as des hobbies au-delà de GT Sport que tu pratiques qui serait intéressant de savoir?
Moi, j'ai pas vraiment beaucoup de lobby. J'ai pas beaucoup de lobby, mais j'aime le karting, mais j'en ai jamais vraiment fait. Ouais. Après, j'aime beaucoup les jeux. J'ai toujours été passionné depuis que je suis petit. J'ai toujours eu des consoles. J'ai souvent joué aux jeux vidéo, que ce soit d'autres, pas forcément de courses ou tout ça. Ou quand j'ai un peu de temps, des fois, quand j'ai un peu trop joué à GT Sport, j'essaie de décompresser soit sur Netflix ou sur d'autres jeux un peu plus posés ou dans d'autres thèmes différents complètement. Après, j'aime le cinéma, j'aime sortir. Avant le Covid, j'aimais bien un peu sortir. Maintenant, c'est un peu plus tranquille. Mais dans l'ensemble, j'aime bien suivre la F1. J'aime bien. Bon, comme après, ça reste dans le sport auto. Mais oui, après.
Okay. He said that Yeah, he doesn't have any specific hobbies. He said that he likes to watch F1, Formula One on TV. He would like to make karting, but he said that he didn't practice at all, or just some like commercial one. But he never did karting like a real karting thing. But he said no, except Gran Turismo sport, I don't have any specific hobbies apart like classic one, watching motorsport games, and that's it.
Very nice. Focus on Gran Turismo.
Exactly. He's really totally focused, man.
Non, mais pour monter un niveau, j'ai assez tôt Corsa Competition sur ma console, sur la Play 4. Je l'avais déjà sur la Play 4. Et là, j'avais récupéré sur la Play 5, mais j'ai pas un excellent niveau et j'ai pas beaucoup d'heures de jeu dessus. Et sinon, j'ai compris déjà que sur GT Sport, c'était déjà compliqué pour pouvoir vraiment exceller à un meilleur niveau. Du coup, je me suis dit, si j'essaie de au moins essayer de me spécialiser, c'est pareil pour F1, les jeux de F1. J'en avais acheté un, même je l'avais précommandé et j'ai très peu joué. Donc du coup, après, j'ai essayé de me concentrer sur une seule simulation. Mais c'est vrai que par exemple le rallye, tout ça, j'apprécie beaucoup, mais j'ai pas autant d'expérience. Enfin,
He said that most of the games requires to be focused on only one, and it's really totally true what he says. For example, me, I'm focusing on Assetto Corsa Competizione. I tried rally, I tried F1, I tried racing, I tried other games, but if you want to be performance in one games and to be an esport driver, you need only to play that game, at 99%, maybe 1%, you can try other. And it's what he says. He says that he has F1 games, he has Assetto Corsa Competizione on his PlayStation, he has rally games, so he interested in it. But when he tried Assetto Corsa Competizione, he's not good. He said that I need time to make it, and I'm totally agree with him, because I was on the PlayStation and I was a GT Sport driver. I move on Assetto Corsa Competizione. I needed 3 laps. No, my first 3 laps, I didn't can make a lap complete. I made 3 spins during a lap, because it's totally different. And even we can say that GT Sport is a sim arcade game. Like, I don't believe that there is a real simulation game out there. I think all the games has their own physics and their own methodology, and I think at the end of the road is only to be fast. It's not about the game, and that's the esport thing. It's not to be. We're never gonna be on a car, and that's what he says. He said that I tried other games, but for me, GT Sport is the game I want to be good at. So I'm focusing only on that, and I wish I can do other games, but it's not possible.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I reduce my love in GT Sport.
It's very, very interesting. It's not like, for example, I race with people in real life in karting who can go between different karts, different engines, different tyres, different chassis, and they're very fast across them. But as you say, these simulations are built, the code, the physics are built differently. So we're all kind of exploiting physics a little bit, and to get to the very top, the 1-2%, exploiting the physics, and that doesn't work across games. Like F1, I struggle because there's so much more downforce, and also I think the sim is written for high speed, so I struggle to exploit the high speed. Whereas in Gran Turismo Sport, in Group 4, it's a completely different game. So yeah, I completely agree. But it's been very interesting in this interview to feel your passion for not only Gran Turismo but also your passion for esports and being fast, which is really, really interesting and cool. Because as a content creator, you have to balance that between being fast but also what people want to watch and what are the best sims that people want to watch. But it's really refreshing to hear from someone like Momoz who's just like, I want to be fast on Gran Turismo. That's just very focused, and I like it. I'm very conscious of the time. We've gone on for a long time, so thank you so much for your time. I don't know, Momoz, if you have any questions for me or Naga if you have any questions for Momoz. I'm sure anyone who's put questions in the comments, we can try and do this again if we want to and try and answer those comments, and that would be great. But right now, Momoz, do you have any questions for us? Or Naga, do you have any questions you want to ask?
Est-ce que tu as des questions pour Kireth ou même moi, même si moi je suis juste traducteur, mais est-ce que tu as des questions pour nous? Parce que nous on a posé des questions pendant 1 heure, mais pas toi, quoi.
Moi j'ai pas de questions. Juste, je voudrais vous remercier pour l'interview, c'était sympathique. Et puis j'espère qu'on se reverra. Toi, Nagaracing, je sais pas, je crois que je n'étais pas encore en abonné, j'irai te chercher en abonné sur YouTube. Et Kireth, je sais que je l'ai pris en abonné direct, parmi les premiers. Et je continuerai à essayer de garder contact avec vous en tout cas. Et c'était sympa. J'avais un peu peur, je vous mens pas au début, parce que je suis pas encore, je suis un peu je suis pas encore un peu, j'ai du mal un peu avec YouTube, j'ai encore du mal à parler avec un public et tout ça. Et du coup, en tout cas, c'était sympa. J'aurais pas dû avoir peur. C'était cool.
C'est cool. He said that he was a little bit afraid about this little interview with you, Kireth. He said that he's not really like a communication guy. So it's not easy about just speaking behind an audience and have a question about that. But he said that I shouldn't be afraid because it was really nice to speak with you, both of you. He said that maybe in the future we're gonna race together, and so he was really happy to. He didn't knew me, but I think he was not also a subscriber, so it's good for me. I got one subscriber.
J'ai déjà regardé, je crois en plus, je crois que t'as déjà beaucoup d'abonnés.
So I'm good, but I'm not so good like Kireth. Joking, man. So they said he doesn't have a specific question for us. So that's it.
Okay, so we'll wrap it up there. Thanks everyone for watching. Thank you so much, Naga and Momoz, for your time, because it's a Sunday and we're all racing and we've got ACC and iRacing and G Sports too. But it's been very, 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 very cool. I've really enjoyed it. What I've taken away is really, Momoz, your passion for racing and being fast in GT Sport, and I suspect this kind of maybe explains some of the videos that are made because you want to win. You're a racer, you want to win. You're racing. Your favorite drivers race against Coco Lopez, Niga Fraga, who are winning. You think if you were full time, you could potentially be in the World Tour. So it's really interesting to see your passion for winning, and you are right at the top of the game. And I think winners have a very specific mentality about. That's what separates winners from people who are enthusiasts. Winners just have a little bit more, and it's really cool to see that you have this. But yeah, we've been going on for I think about an hour. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get this video subtitled in English, so people who are watching in English and maybe have as bad French as me, it's cool to hear, try and pick it, but I can't get all of it. So we'll subtitle it and we'll get this out as a video. Obviously you'll know that because you've just watched it, so thank you. Do free to like, subscribe, all of that stuff for all of our channels if you want to see more of this sort of content. But all that's left for me to say really is I hope this recorded, which I think it has. And thank you, Naga, thank you, Momoz. We can try and do this again and answer. I'm sure there'll be questions. It'd be very, very cool. But otherwise, I think, Naga, we're definitely going to try and do an endurance race together, which would be a sweet thing. ACC or iRacing, maybe both.
Yes.
And Momoz, if you've got any questions about iRacing or ACC, let us know. We'll definitely help you get set up because I'm sure you'll absolutely love it because there's some things you can do in AC and iRacing you can't do in G Sport, which is the team racing and the endurance. But yeah, thank you so much, guys, and gonna end the videos here. So thanks everyone for watching. You can say goodbye. Oh no.
Bye.